Hey guys, good morning, good morning, good morning. So, welcome to your 7 tips for 7 figures at 7 a.m. ish. Of course, I'm your host, Coach Daniel Patterson Winningham. Got a little bit of a cold, so hang in there with me. And guys, if you haven't already scheduled your 7 figure business assessment, what are you waiting for? Go to bit.ly/the number 7 figure business assessment to schedule your call with my team today because you're much closer to 7 figures than you think. Good morning, guys. And we're going to be talking about that today. Good morning, Miss Holly Bless. Good morning, Miss Posh University. Good morning, Mink Beauty. So today we're going to be talking about why you need to stop making excuses for your millions. Can everybody hear me okay? Yeah, you heard that right. Stop making excuses for your millions. So if you follow the word like I follow the word, we are supposed to be abundant. We are supposed to have revenue. We are supposed to have riches. And it's not supposed to be that hard. We came equipped with what we need to be successful. When Moses said, Lord, I got these soldiers behind me, I got these mountains to the next to me, and I got this water in front of me. The Lord told you, Moses, use what's in your hand. If you haven't shared the broadcast, make sure you share the broadcast and invite others. The Lord told Moses, use what's in your hands. So this morning, I'm telling you that what's in your hands, good morning, Cole, will equip you to make 7 figures. Now, I'm not going to lie. It's some stuff you going to have to do. And the number one thing is you got to stop blaming your lack of revenue on everybody else. Now, I know this is a hard message. Some of y'all are going to say, ouch. Go ahead and say ouch in the comments. But you got to stop blaming your lack of revenue, your lack of success, your lack of millions on everybody else. It is nobody else's fault that you work a job. It is nobody else's fault that you're not reaping your abundance. There is something called being relentless. And part of that is that you've got to stop making excuses for what you don't have, and you got to spend the time. Come on now. I'm only talking to the grown folks this morning. I'm only talking to the adults this morning because those of you who are still in a high school frame of mind think that it's somebody else's job to coach you to your millions. Now, I am a 7 figure coach and I am going to tell you what to do. But at the end of the day, if I got to launch your brand for you, I might as well launch it myself and keep all the money. Now, do the grown folks that are here this morning understand what I'm saying? Hello? Is any grown women here this morning that understand what I'm saying? What I'm saying is you can lead a horse to water, but you cannot make them drink. Your coach is a coach. I'm going to show you the behind the scenes, but you got to show up and learn. I'm going to teach you, but you got to show up and learn. I show up for my mentorship every single Monday. Now, if you can't be bothered to show up and get the lessons, don't complain that the lessons don't work. The lessons work if you do the work. So let me go ahead and give you your 7 tips for the day. Number 1, take ownership of your millions. Take ownership of your millions. That means you got to share your wins. You got to share, you got to own your losses. You got to own your unwillingness to invest. Everybody's got the same damn problems. Can we just be honest? Nobody has a leg up on anybody else. Your kid's crazy, my kid's crazy. Your family crazy, my family crazy. You got to struggle and build your business while you working. I had to do the same thing. You don't have a lot of money to start your business. I didn't either. So when you take away the excuses, I don't know if you're listening. If you're listening this morning, go ahead and comment me. When you take away the excuses of why you don't have the money, it seems like all of us started on the same path. Are you listening to me this morning? All of us started with the same obstacles. All of us started with the same damn problems. And instead of me saying, oh, it's a problem, I looked at every single problem as an opportunity. I don't have enough money to build my business. Let me go out here and figure out some ways to make some more money. My family won't support me. Let me go out here and figure out some ways to get some more support. So see, you can either say, I'm cool with being broke. Y'all didn't hear me. Or if you're not broke, I'm cool with just making it. I'm cool with just getting by. I'm cool with just scratching the surface. Or you can say, let me in, coach. I want to play. And I don't want to play small ball. I want to play for the money. So again, if you haven't shared this broadcast, you need to, because this broadcast is for the grown women. I told y'all yesterday, we're coming for what is owed to us. But you got to have that mindset. So number one, you got to take ownership of your wins, losses, and failures. You got to take ownership of your fear, your lack of confidence, and the things that are holding you back. You got to take ownership of them. Because until you do, you're not equipped to be a millionaire. Stop making your lack of success everybody else's problem, because it's not everybody else's problem. It's your problem, number one. Number two, understand and be crystal clear that nobody is going to do the work for you. Nobody. You want to build a business? You can do it. Put your back into it. That means you got to hold yourself accountable for what time do you get up? How many hours a day do you work your business? How many hours a day do you research your business? How much do you know about your industry? Are you an industry expert? What time do you go to bed at night? All of that shit is on you. Nobody's going to do your work for you. Even if you hire me as a coach today, I am not doing your work. I'm not going to read the books for you. I'm not going to write the copy. Well, we will write the copy for you. It's going to cost you. You got to understand that ain't nobody finna do your job for you. It is insane and ludicrous for you to hire a coach thinking that a coach will make it easier. A coach will pave your way, but a coach will not, under any circumstances, and I don't give a damn who you hire, do your work for you. It is your job to understand your industry and how what I teach you is applicable in your industry and how you're going to use what I teach you to ball out of control in your industry. Come on now. Ain't nobody finna do your work for you unless they want your profits. So number one, you got to take ownership. Number two, nobody's going to do the work for you. Today, we're talking about stop making excuses about your millions. You were given dominion when you came on earth. But so by right, everybody under the sound of my voice is supposed to be what? Financially abundant. Everybody is supposed to be financially abundant. If you're not, take away the excuses and you will be. So number one, you got to take ownership. Number two, nobody's going to do the work for you. Number three, you got to have a plan. And a written plan. Somebody say, put it in writing. Somebody type in, put it in writing. You got a list for the grocery store, but you don't have a written, definitive plan on how you're going to make your millions. You got a list for the dry cleaner. You got a list of to-dos for your job, but you won't put it in writing. You won't put your vision in writing. You won't put your money in writing. You won't put your destiny in writing. You won't put your legacy in writing. Somebody say, put it in writing. You got a written plan for your children, but you won't put your millions in writing. Am I the only one that read Write the Vision and Make It Plain? Am I the only one that read Write the Vision and Make It Plain? Am I the only one? I know I'm not. You will plan your wedding. Somebody say, ouch. You will plan a bar mitzvah. You will plan a quinceañera. You will plan your baby's sweet 16. You will have all the I's dotted, and you will have all the T's crossed. But when it comes down to your millions, ain't nobody listening to me this morning, y'all. Somebody say, I'm listening. Somebody say, speak on it, coach. You will have your wedding planned down to the minute. Who's gonna sing your song? What song they gonna sing? What wedding march they gonna march? Who you gonna invite? Where they gonna sit? You will spend tens of thousands of dollars on a wedding. We ain't gonna talk about how long you gonna stay together. That's another show. We're not gonna talk about the fact that I've seen people spend tens of thousands of dollars on a wedding, spend months and months planning this wedding, and by this time next year, they couldn't even make it back to eat the little piece of cake that come up. That's another show, y'all. That's another show. Y'all not gonna make me talk about that right now. You're not gonna make me do it. You're not gonna make me do it. That's another show. We're not gonna talk about that. But what we're talking about is if you could be that definitive in your planning for your life, for your wedding, for these birthday parties, that, man, hold up now. Hold up. Hold my phone. I done seen y'all spend months planning a birthday party for a 1-year-old. Y'all ain't listening. Anybody listening this morning? I have seen y'all spend months planning a birthday party for a 1-year-old. A birthday party they not even gonna remember. Oh, I done seen y'all do it up. We ain't talking about no hot dogs and chips. Oh, I done seen y'all with filet mignon at the 1-year-old birthday party. I done seen y'all. Oh, let's not talk about when baby turned 1 for Christmas. I done seen y'all find the money to spend thousands of dollars when your child turned 1. And all of a sudden, when it's some money you need to spend on your business, all of a sudden you ain't got it. You better stop making excuses for your business. Stop making excuses for your millions. Because if you don't invest it, time, energy, effort, money, intellect, elbow grease, sweat equity, if you don't invest it, you won't have it. Is everybody listening? And then D. Morris said, and then the baby slept through the whole party. Y'all didn't hear me. Y'all didn't hear me. The baby slept through the whole party. You spent all that money on Christmas gifts, and the baby played with the boxes and the wrapping paper. Stop making excuses about your millions, saying that you can't afford to invest. Yes, you may just have to make some sacrifices, but ain't your millions worth it? Can somebody say yes or no? You may have to make some sacrifices, but aren't your millions worth it? You may have to do some things differently, but ain't your millions worth it? Somebody say yes or no. You may, let me tell y'all something. When you start to build an empire, we see, so right now we're not even talking about building a business. And if you want to schedule your 7-figure business assessment, make sure you go to bit.ly/7-figure business assessment. You're closer to $1 million than you think, but you got to know what you're missing. Now, we're not talking about building a business, okay? Is everybody clear? When I come here every morning at 7 o'clock to give you 7 tips, I am giving you 7 tips on building an empire, 7 tips on building a dynasty, 7 tips on building a legacy. Anybody can tell you how to build a business. Everybody can't tell you how to build a legacy. So when you start building a legacy, is anybody listening to me? Things change. Things change. You don't have the availability you used to have. You don't have the free time that you used to have. You don't have the time for vacation that you used to have. You don't have the time for dates that you used to have. And if you're so foolish, I hope you're listening, as to think that you gonna come by these millions by any way other than sheer, unadulterated, unmitigated sacrifice, then you a real fool. Because that's what it takes. It takes early mornings. It takes late nights. You got to get out there and practice. You're going to have to do some stuff. Some of the stuff you're going to do wrong. Some of the stuff you're going to do right. It all boils down to how bad do you want it. Let's talk about this. In comparison to generating $1 million worth of working a boat versus working a job, the million is way easier. And you're going to get there way faster. Let's talk about it. How many of you have ever had aspirations of generating $1 million a year at your job? Let's talk about it. Good morning, Michelle. Good morning, Stigler. Let's talk about it. How many of you have ever had, never in a million years would I have hoped, prayed, or dreamed that I would make $1 million working for somebody else. It was not in the forecast. But as an entrepreneur, you have that opportunity. But what are you willing to risk? What are you willing to give up? What are you willing to sacrifice in order to have it all? And can I be brutally honest? Somebody say, tell it, coach. Can I be brutally honest? When you come to me and you say, coach, I want you to help me build this empire. I want you to help me build this legacy. I'm going to have one question for you. Are you ready for this gangster ride? Please don't come over here and think it's going to be cute. I'm still alive, Keita.
Sorry, coach.
I'm going to just put you in the, just turn your camera off.
Okay.
Please don't come over here thinking it's going to be cute. Don't come over here thinking it's going to be easy. Going to a job every day ain't easy, so making $1 million is not easy. Don't sit over here and think that you're going to catch on in a month or two, because you're not going to just catch on in a month or two. But will I give you everything you need to make this money and then some? I'm going to give you more than anybody else I know of. I'm going to give you more help. I'm going to give you more opportunities. I'm going to give you more support. I'm going to tell you up front, this is a hands-on program. Why is it a hands-on program? Because you can't learn just sitting around letting me talk? How many of you have ever done an email nurture series? How many times have you have created how many of you have created a sales webinar that converts people? The things you've never done before, I'm going to have to show you, and you're going to have to try them behind the scenes. That is the only way you learn, people. So if you don't have time to put the work in, this is not the program for you. I want to make sure I'm crystal clear. Because somebody recently was like, well, I didn't know I had to do so much work. And I said, you didn't know that making $1 million a year is going to require all your energy? You didn't know that making this money was going to make you have to give up some shit? You didn't know that the mindset shift alone, are y'all listening to me? There is something that happens in your mind when you realize that, fool, you really can make $1 million. There's a shift that happens in your intellect when you realize that 7 figures is really closer than you would have ever thought. There is a awakening that has to occur. And guys, yes, it's hard work, but it ain't no harder than going out there working for the measly checks. Go look at my Facebook today. Comment on my post. I wrote, you got to stop tripping over dollars to get to dimes. You're tripping over millions to get to a job. And that job is working you like a Hebrew slave. Now, that's what I've never heard of. I've never heard of anybody having an easy job. So you mean to tell me, what you're trying to tell me is that you will work hard for peanuts, but you're not willing to do that same work to own the peanut factory? It's like, that's what I'm coming, hello? This is what I'm coming up with. That you will go the extra mile for peanuts, but you are not willing to be relentless to be a millionaire. Wow. Somebody say wow to your neighbor. Wow, wow, neighbor. Good morning, Queen Divine. Wow, neighbor. So if anybody ever told you that this money is easy, the hardest part of this money is you. Can I just be honest? So don't forget, every morning, 7 a.m., we talking 7 tips to 7 figures. The hardest part of this money equation is you. If I could ever get you to believe that you're capable of generating millions, if I could ever get you to believe that you're capable of living this lifestyle, if I could ever get you to believe that people will pay you $5,000 and $10,000 and $15,000 for your product, if I could get you to believe that, yes, people do have that level of money, if I could ever get you to believe, the rest is easier. The rest is just execution. So number 1, you got to take ownership. Number 2, nobody's going to do the work for you. Number 3, you got to get a professional plan in writing. You got to get an expert plan in writing. If you don't know how to make $1 million, you cannot sit up. You not Dora the Explorer. You don't have no magic backpack, no magic pen, and no magic paper that's going to give you the strategy for your millions if you've never made them before. So you will need an expert crafted plan to generate your money. bit.ly/7 business assessment. There's a strategy to this. Somebody type it in, bit.ly/7 business assessment. There's a strategy to making money. You don't have a magic pen, backpack. You don't have that. You got to get some professional help. So that's number 4. Get a plan in writing with expert support. Number 4. Number 4 is the hardest out of everything on this list. Number 4 is going to require all of your energy, all of your effort. And by far, it's the hardest thing that any one human has to accomplish. Anybody want to know what number 4 is? Does anybody want to, somebody, if you want to know what number 4 is, put up number 4. Does anybody want to know what number 4 is? Number 4 is the make or break. Number 4 is what causes some people to be successful, but most people to fail. Number 4 is the fork in the road. And if you can make it past number 4, by golly, you could probably make it. Come on, Instagram is putting them 4s up. Facebook, where you at? You got to be honest. Did y'all hear me? You got to be 100% honest with yourself. You got to be honest. You got to be honest about the excuses you've been making. You got to be honest about the lack of sacrifice that you've been expending. You got to be honest about the time that you've been putting in. Have you been putting in 7 figures worth of time? Have you sold 7 figures worth of seed? Have you made 7 figures worth of monetary investment? Have you put in 7 figure worth of study? Have you put in 7 figure worth of sweat equity? See, a lot of people can't get past number 4. That's why I said today, you got to stop making excuses about your millions. See, if you still pointing at other people as to the reason for the lack of success, you're not being honest. That 10,000 hour rule, it don't bend for nobody. The only way to bend the 10,000 hour rule is to work harder and faster. Y'all didn't hear me, did you? Malcolm Gladwell talks about the tipping point where you truly become great. It's the name of the book, The Tipping Point. And he says that all greats, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, it took them 10,000 hours to perfect their craft. Now, the only way to speed up that 10,000 hours is to put in more a day. You put in 10 hours a day for 1,000 days, which is 3 years, you'll be the master. If you only put in 3 hours, let's say 5 hours a day, it's going to take you 6 years. You only put in 2.5 hours a day, it's going to take you 12 years. You only put in an hour a day, it's going to take you 20 years. Is anybody keeping up with me? If you want to master your craft, it's going to take you 10,000 hours. Let's do the math. 10,000 hours. If you do 10 hours a day for 1,000 days, that's 10,000 hours. 1,000 days is about 3 years. You're not listening to me. Now, there's some ways to shortcut that. If you've got a coach that's already done the time, I can put you on the strategy. You're still going to have to do your work to become an industry expert. Are you listening to what I'm saying? So you do 10 hours a day in your business. 3 years, you're going to be an expert. You only do 5 hours a day. It's going to take you 6 years. You only do 2.5 hours a day. It's going to take you 12 years. If you wonder why your money clock is not moving that quickly, it's because you are not investing the time. You can't shortcut it. Because part of that time and energy is where you build your confidence and your muscle. So hiring a coach gets you closer, much closer, but you still got to do the time. And if you can't be honest with yourself, brutally honest about how, and being, let me tell you something, doing the work is not necessarily your 10 hours. Your 10 hours is studying your craft. Your 10 hours is learning what works and what doesn't work. Part of that 10 hours is experimental. But you got to be honest. Got to be brutally honest. Number 5, you got to work your plan. Then you got to come back, number 6, and be honest as to whether or not the plan is working. And number 7, you got to be relentless. Listen. Good morning, cousin Sonya. I think I sent you an invite to my launch in Houston on Friday. If you're the same place that you have been year over year, month over month, quarter over quarter, with very little improvement, you're going to have to be honest with yourself about whether you want this money or not. You're not getting any younger. Time is not slowing down for anybody. And you're going to get to that point where you're either unable to work, you're tired of working. There's going to get that. You're going to get to that point. So this is where the real people draw a line in the sand and say, I don't want to keep struggling without a plan. I don't want to keep trying to figure it out on my own. Let me be honest about the fact that I don't know the way to 7 figures. Let me be honest about the fact that I need help. Let me be honest about I'm not going to make it by myself. Let me be honest about I haven't invested the time. Today is all about stop making excuses for your millions. Stop saying I can't afford. Stop saying I don't know. And be relentless. All right, guys, that's my 7 tips for 7 figures at 7 a.m. I will see you guys tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. If you have not already scheduled your 7-figure business assessment, make sure you go to bit.ly/7-figure business assessment. Listen, guys, you're closer to 7 figures than you think. You just don't know what you don't know. And at some point, you got to stop making excuses about your millions and say, let me get some help figuring this out. All right. Love you, fam. Thanks for stopping by. See you first.